I'm Jeff Bennett. On the News Hour tonight, the UN Security Council, for the first time, endorses a ceasefire in Gaza as the U.S. continues its push for a deal after a bloody weekend hostage rescue by Israeli forces.
Former President Donald Trump meets with a probation officer as jury deliberations begin in the trial of Hunter Biden.
And a popular book sparks new debate over the links among teen mental health, social media, and smartphones.
I think there are a lot of factors that are attributed to this rise in anxiety and depression, but this has accelerated it.
Major funding for the PBS News Hour has been provided by the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions, and friends of the News Hour, including Leonard and Norma Chlorfine, and the Judy and Peter Bloom William and Flora Hewlett Foundation. For more than 50 years, advancing ideas and supporting institutions to promote a better world at hewlett.org. And with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to the News Hour, and welcome to our brand new studio in the WETA headquarters.
We are excited to call it home and to welcome you here, and looking forward to showing you more over the course of the program. And while the show may look different, the work that we do here remains the same.
That same commitment to high-quality journalism, the reliable reporting, and strong storytelling you've come to expect from the News Hour. And with that, let's turn to the news.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken returned to the Middle East today with meetings in Israel and Egypt. He is pressing leaders to accept an Israeli proposal for a hostage and ceasefire deal, one that received a vote of...
6 days later, Noah Argamani back in the arms of her father. A kiss for Almog Meir Jan.
Thank you for bringing my son to me, to us.
Today, the Pentagon denied what it called widespread disinformation and said Israel...
While the rescue of 4 hostages is great news for some, there are still about 120 hostages remaining in Gaza. One of them is 22-year-old Omer Nutra. He's an American and Israeli citizen and was serving as a tank commander in the Israel Defense Forces on October 7th, stationed on the Gaza border when he was taken captive by Hamas. His parents, Orna and Ronan Nutra, join me now. Welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So Orna, tell us a little bit about your son. I understand he was
born in New York City 1 month after 9/11 on 10/14. And on 9/11, I was working in the city. I was 9 months pregnant with him, and I remember walking over the Queensboro Bridge thinking to myself, I can't believe that this is happening. So he was born right after that, and you know, into that climate in New York City, I remember a lot of people posting missing people would do it, and he felt very strongly that he shouldn't just go back to college, that he should serve as well, that it was his duty to serve.
Ronan, as you know, we're speaking just after this raid in central Gaza that did end up freeing 4 hostages from captivity there. Wonderful news, joyful news for their families. As you also know, it was reported that the Gaza Health Ministry said over 270 Palestinians were killed in that operation. I just wonder, would you want an operation like that?
Any way that can get him healthy back, we'll take it. But we also realize that throughout the 8 months, I believe only 7 people were rescued in an operation by the IDF, which means that most people...
I can't thank you enough for being here, for sharing Omer's story with us, and we hope he's back with you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
In the day's other headlines, the jury in Hunter Biden's criminal trial has started deliberating in Delaware. Earlier, prosecutors told jurors in their closing arguments that no one is above the law. Hunter Biden's defense attorney countered that the prosecution failed to prove its case beyond a reasonable. The case centers on Facebook's handling of the Cambridge Analytica scandal, when the personal data of roughly 87 million users was improperly gathered in the lead up to the 2016 election. The plaintiffs filed the case in 2018 after Facebook's stock fell as the scandal came to light. They argue the company did not fully disclose the risks that users' information could be mishandled. The court will hear the case during its next term, which starts in October. In France, public opinion polls predicted today that the far-right National Rally Party would win snap elections next month. It's the first gauge of French sentiment since President Emmanuel Macron. Maker Moderna says that in late-stage trials involving adults over the age of 50, participants who took its combined shot had significantly stronger immune reactions than those who took two separate shots. Side effects were reportedly minor and similar to those seen when shots were administered separately. Moderna says it hopes to launch the combined shot by the fall of 2025 after a short illness in Los Angeles. Lawson was 95 years old. Still to come on the NewsHour, Tamara Keith and Leanne Caldwell break down the latest political headlines. And a revival of Sondheim's Merrily We Roll Along gains rave reviews and Tony nominations.
This is the PBS News Hour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.
Major developments today in two legal cases we're tracking. First, jurors started deliberating. Give me your assessment of the defense's case, because to your point, yes, they're saying that Hunter Biden did not view himself as an addict when he filled out that firearm form, that federal form, saying that he was not abusing drugs. Do you think that is Renato Mariotti? Thanks as always for your insights, Renato. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
The two leading presidential candidates continue to highlight the stark differences between them in key policy issues. It's a perfect time for Politics Monday. See you both.
See you.
Let's start now with an issue we know Democrats have been leaning into, one we saw former President Trump messaging on today, that is abortion rights. He spoke at the Danbury Institute today. It's an anti-abortion rights conservative Christian.
A challenge going back to when Dobbs overturned Roe versus Wade. There are more conservative groups like the one that former President Trump delivered a video message to earlier today that would like to go as far as you can go, and then there are other Republicans who say, hey, how about a...
Meanwhile, former President Trump, was speaking at a scorching hot Las Vegas rally where, when problems with the teleprompter led him to unscripted remarks that veered wildly from topic to topic. Here's a few sound bites. Because I want to point out the crucial voting bloc of Latinos in a place like Nevada and others. If you look at the comparison between how these two candidates did or how they're doing today, rather compared back to 2020, you have seen a weakening of support for President Biden, down some 13 points, basically the same increase in support for Mr. Trump. Leanne, how do you look at that? What is the message that's resonating? Keith, Leanne Caldwell, great to see you both. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
A number of states are moving to regulate social media use among children and teens. New York State is the latest, with a new law that would allow parents to block their children from getting social media posts suggested by a platform's algorithm. About 1 in 5 American adolescents report having anxiety and depression, and CDC data show teenage girls are facing record levels of sadness and suicide risk. It all comes amid a larger conversation about social media and smartphones. Stephanie Tsai has more.
Struggling to make for their own families. For the PBS News Hour, I'm Stephanie Tsai in Durango, Colorado.
When Stephen Sondheim died in 2021, he was remembered as one of musical theater's all-time greats, creator of masterpieces like Sweeney Todd and A Little Night Music. But one of his musicals, Merrily We Roll Along, never achieved that success. Now it has, and the show, actors, and director Maria Friedman are all up for Tony Awards this Sunday. Jeffrey Brown recently joined Friedman on Broadway for our arts and culture series, Canvas.
Before we go, we want to take a moment to thank all of the people, the NewsHour staff, WETA engineers, and outside designers and companies that help make this new studio possible. What you're seeing right now, this is a brief time-lapse video showing the construction of the studio, which took nearly 4 years, from planning to construction of a new wing at our WETA headquarters and build-out of the new studio. We hope it serves both us and you well into the future.
And we hope that you will join us again back here tomorrow night for a look at an effort underway in North Dakota to block people over the age of 80 from representing the state in Congress. And that is the NewsHour for tonight. I'm Amna Nawaz.
And I'm Jeff Bennett. For all of us here at the PBS NewsHour, thanks for spending part of your evening with us. Have a good night.
Major funding for the PBS NewsHour has been provided by and with the ongoing support of these institutions. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.